Well, the Arsenal game is fast approaching, and Roy Hodgson did his usual pre-match interview with the media, and I'm going to be talking about some of the things that he mentioned. Injury-wise, things are exactly the same as they were before the Everton game. He did say that he thinks Eze had a really good game in the Everton game and probably played the most like Eze he's played since he came back. And I would have to agree with that. I think he played a lot better in this game than previously. But still, I don't think quite had that sharp edge to his game. But he did play very well. And in terms of injuries, everything's exactly the same. Still no Elise, still no Rob Holding. And, obviously, Doucouré is going to be out for a long period of time. And he did say that he was hopeful that Rak-Sakyi would have been back before he was, but he's got something else that he needs to finish in terms of his rehabilitation. Then he will be available for full training. So he's not quite ready yet. So I don't think he's going to be available for the Arsenal game, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah. So I imagine it's going to be pretty much a similar game as well. He did take off a few of the senior players towards the end of the Everton game to try and rest them up so that they could play this game against Arsenal. He did have a plan, he said from the very beginning, that he wasn't going to play Eze for the whole game. He was only going to play him for 60 minutes, which he did. Partly because he's just returned from injury himself, but also because he wanted to keep him fit for the game against Arsenal. So I think that was actually quite a good thing to do, because you don't want him to get tired and then either injure something or reoccur his injury, or be so tired that he then can't play well against Arsenal, because we're going to need him playing well against Arsenal. So I think that was actually a good thing to do. And obviously, he did say about how the fact that he wasn't entirely fit when he came back into the team, which we all know that anyway, and that he said if it had been left up to the medical team, he probably would have still been out for a little bit longer. But he really wanted to come back playing, and so did Roy and the coaching staff. So he said, I think he was pushed back in a bit sooner than he otherwise would have been, which I think is right. He hasn't looked fit enough in the last previous games. The game against Everton, he did look a lot better. So hopefully in the game against Arsenal, he's going to be even better still, and maybe even create a few chances that lead to some goals, which should be fantastic. Arsenal, they've had a bit of a bumpy last few games. They haven't done as well as they have done previously, but it's still Arsenal, and they're still a good team. So I'm not expecting them to roll over to us, and I think it's going to be very hard for us to get anything out of this game. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. In terms of new signings, Roy Hodgson did say that he's not aware of any new signings imminently coming in, but he knows that Parish and Diego Freeman are working very hard to bring some players in. He said something quite interesting actually during the interview, because someone said to him about how much more difficult it is this season because of the injuries and things like that, and he did say that after the good end to last season, he was actually really excited about the prospect of starting this season. He said, however, he did have the kind of belief, should we say, that the squad would be intact and that there could actually be a couple of extra signings in the summer. So I don't think he was expecting Zaha to leave, and I don't think he was expecting us to have such a poor summer transfer window. And we did bring players in, obviously, and some of those players have done really well. But I don't think that we did as much business as he was perhaps expecting us to do, which is that's Palace, really, isn't it? So you can't really argue against it, because that's just how we are at the moment, anyway. So in terms of the interview, that was pretty much it. He said, obviously, that even though Arsenal have been through a rough patch, he's not expecting them to simply be there for the taking, and he's taken it as an Arsenal game, and Arsenal are a good team, which I think is exactly right. And I would love to say that we would come away with this with some kind of outcome, but I don't think that that's going to happen. I think we're going to lose. I really do. Arsenal are, they're looking to get back on track, and I think that this could be the game that they try and do it. So I think if we're going to lose, I think it's going to be maybe 2-0 to Arsenal. I know it's sad, I should be more optimistic than I am, but unfortunately I just can't see us beating Arsenal. And that's the problem that things are at the moment, with the team that we've got and the way that we've been playing. I just don't think we're going to be beating Arsenal. But I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section. As always, let me know what you think. What do you think the score is going to be? What do you think about the talks about transfers or things like this? Give me your ideas, and your comments. And as always, if you've got any questions or comments that you want to send me, you can either put them in the transfer. You can either put them in the comment section down below, or you can email them to me at footballtothecore@gmail.com, footballtothecore@gmail.com, and I will see you next time.